on YouTube. I'm your host, Jay Williams. This is the Sports Collective. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, so today we're going to get straight into the video. Caitlin Clark has come out and addressed the media since all the nonsense that has been going on the past days, weeks, in actuality, years, right, with Caitlin Clark. But we're going to get straight to the video. It is a 10-minute video. I would like to pretty much cover the whole video, so I'm going to try not to pause and give my opinion too much and kind of just wait to the end.
Probably start. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, and obviously I haven't been available for like a week or so. So, first of all, I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul, and our reffing just needs to be better. And it's tough. Obviously, the refs are in a really difficult spot. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world, in my opinion, is to make calls. All you do is get yelled at the whole time by everybody. You're never winning. So I think for us, as the league's just got to do better protecting our players in that regard. I don't really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You go back and watch the clip. I think it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of been a discussion for like 3 years now, and I think we really need to do a better job protecting the people in this league. And, obviously I've been involved in a few of those plays, but there's been plenty others across the league that, haven't got called, go back and post-game or whatever it is. Teams submit clips, nothing really changes. So I think overall the league just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better.
I think it's clear that CC knows the responsibility that's on her shoulders to get this league into just a different place that it has been. She started off, which I'm glad she started off. It was that she believes it was a clear flagrant. It wasn't up for discussion. Now she moved on to the refs, that the refs have to be better. But what I like about her is she will hold the refs accountable, but she also will uplift them in a way. Like, the refs need to be better, but at the same time, I understand, or we need to understand, that your job is hard, right? She talked about herself being a player of most of these conversations, but she is including other players. I think I think the WNBA doesn't know what they have, right? I think it's clear that CC loves the WNBA. I think in the past she talked about how she grew up loving the WNBA. Maya Moore was her favorite player, just like Maya Moore was my favorite player, and she went to a couple of Maya Moore games. I think it's clear. I don't think CC wants to play for another league, but I also think CC knows what she's up against. Right, I really do, and we'll see where it goes. I think she's committed to trying to uplift this league, but I think the league they better open their eyes. Like, they better stop all this political agenda nonsense. Like, people want to come see their favorite players. People want to come see the game of basketball, and they want to be entertained. So, right now they got CC. She's clearly committed, so they better get it together.
We can treat the referees a little bit better. Pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that. And
how much they get paid?
I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always.
She has said this plenty of times. I didn't need her to say this because she said it multiple times already, but I'm glad she did just to get it out there one more time for the people in the back. But that's what made me so upset when it's clear they try to make this girl, or this woman, I'm sorry, this woman, the face of racism. I have yet to see CC condone or say anything even remotely close to being controversial. Like, she keeps it about the WNBA and the game of basketball. So
always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay, and I don't want anybody to ever experience that. And I think it can be really frustrating to me at times, and I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions, I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And I'm 24 years old, trying to navigate a lot.
I think at
times I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard, and there are times that it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on. And I would never change any of that for the world, but I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So, at the same time, it's really interesting to me because, even I turned the TV on Sunday, and that game was on Wednesday, and that's all people are still talking about. And I feel like that's just a real disservice to our league. And I get it. You talk about it. You talk about whether it's flagrant. You talk about whatever it is. But to continue to beat down, and then for the narrative to be taken other places that is really just that's just really not acceptable. I think
Yeah, we know what she's talking about now. We know what she's talking about now. That this man, for the, man, I try not to look too deep into things, but for this conversation to start with that flagrant, we have seen this so many times, man. I can't even. It's wild at this point because we knew it was coming. I can't even say we were surprised. We knew it was coming. We knew once Alyssa Thomas she did this before. Like we've seen it, and the media. I don't even want to say they falling for it. At this point, they in on it. Like they in on it. We knew Alyssa Thomas was gonna come with, oh, people are in my inbox. We knew the WNBA was gonna shoot out a statement. We knew the media was gonna look at the Caitlin Clark fan base. Like we knew it was coming. It's the same. It's the same show. It's not even a sequel. It's the same movie on repeat every year, year after year. Y'all, somebody need to call these people out. Like somebody in the national media need to call these people out. The WNBA, the other national media, like call these people out. Like somebody got to keep it real. Somebody got to
it's
keep it
hard
real.
to see, and it's a disservice to my team, but it's also a disservice to the other teams in this league and the other players in this league. There's so much amazing talent, and there's so many amazing players that are playing at an incredibly high rate. And
hold on, because I almost forgot about this. Throughout this whole interview, and I'm trying not to make this video long. I'm only 2 minutes in. Gosh, dog, I might have to do a part 2. Throughout this whole video, Cece has been uplifting other players. She has been making a conversation about other players, not just herself. Then for her to be voted the 11th best guard in the league is diabolical. It's diabolical. But I digress.
And I remember, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, whatever day that was. I remember watching them discuss it on TV, and I didn't know they were going to discuss it. I was just watching the other games because I try to watch as much as I can, and I honestly felt bad for the players that were playing in the games those days, and also I felt bad for my teammates. They played on Friday, and they dominated, and they played really well, and nobody wanted to talk about that. They were just worried about everything else. So, and there had been, I think 10 plus other games that had already happened to that point. So
stop thinking about the 11th best point guard in the league. I'm sorry. It's
all of our jobs
to
try to refocus the narratives a lot of the times, and we can do better at that. And I think it'll help our game grow a lot more.
Keep it about basketball. That's what she is saying. She's saying keep it about basketball.
And that goes
well, we have all been saying
whatever, but at the same time, you guys are here in this arena every time we play, and the amount of people that are passionate and love the game and respect the other team, and the young girls and the young boys that show up, like, we can't lose sight of that. And that's whether we're here at home and whether we're on the road. And there's a lot of really, really great people that love this league and love our organization, and I'm thankful to be here in an organization that has my back and will always stand up for me. And I think we can't ever lose sight of that. Like,
you don't hear my dog
the joy
right here
and the
snoring,
fire
so
and the
I apologize.
Like, that's why you play this game. And I think it kind of goes back to a little bit of my frustration. Like, I remember seeing a headline is like, and I don't remember who wrote this, and I try to stay away from social media as much as I can, but sometimes it can be hard. Like, I need to be aware of certain things, and obviously my team makes me aware of certain things. And it was like, the headline read like, this season has been everything but fun, and just full of frustration for Clark and the Fever. And I'm like, no one ever asked me that. Nobody ever asked me that. Like, that's wrong. Like, discuss my play. Discuss if I played bad. Discuss if I played.
They don't want to discuss your play because you having an MVP type season. They not gonna. We know what's going on. She's top 3 in scoring. She's top 2, going back between 1 and 2 in assists. Like I said earlier, her defense is not as bad as people try to make it out to be. They not gonna discuss your play, but they not gonna discuss your play, Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry.
Played good. Like, discuss our play, and at times I understand there's other things that need to be talked about. Great, whatever. But let's continue to move on, and things like that. And but I think just focusing on the joy and the amazing parts of this game, like I said, I think it's sometimes a disservice to not only our team but to everybody else. And let's get back to a lot more smiling and positivity. I think our world could use a lot of that. And then moving on, I know everybody's going to ask about my health. I will be out Sunday, but I'm feeling a lot better, excited to get back into practice today, and
Sucks.
then feeling really, really positive about getting back into one of the games at the back-to-back, obviously.
All right. So I don't know. I haven't looked at this whole interview, but I'll stop it here because I know I've been going long. Um, I think I'm glad CC came out and had this interview. I think she addressed a lot of things. I think she held herself accountable for going at the refs. I think she held the refs accountable for missing all these calls. Um, I think she included the rest of the WNBA. I think she's clearly trying to uplift the WNBA, but I also think she kind of took a stand for herself. Like, hey, that was a flagrant foul. I think she said it wasn't up for debate. I think she said she was confused about where the narrative went to, right? And I think we all know what she's talking about. She's talking about after Alyssa Thomas came out with her press conference and how the whole narrative went to Caitlin Clark and her fan base and this, that, and the third. And I think she clearly states like, "Hey, my character should never be in question. Like I have done nothing since being at Iowa. I have done nothing but uplift and talk about the game of basketball and try to make this league better. And that's how I was raised. So I agree. That's what got me so upset the other day. It's like, hey, I would have no problem calling Caitlin Clark out if that was true, but it's just not true. It's not even remotely true, right? That's what got me upset. Is I see it's a clear agenda. I don't like it, right? I don't like it. I think it's nonsense. I think the WNBA has been that's entrenched with this since the inception of their league. I did a little research on it, and it's pretty outrageous. The WNBA and all the nonsense that has gone on. I think they are entrenched in political views. I think the game is secondary to what they're really, in tune with and want to do. Um, but yeah, I'm upset. Not upset, but I wish she was playing Sunday. That would have been a big game against the Aces. But her health comes first. I'd rather her get her body right so she can be intact for the remainder of the season and going into the playoffs. But yeah, I'm glad she took a stand for herself. I'm glad she held the league accountable. I'm glad she held herself accountable. But it's nonsense what the league has done and is doing, and I hope they can get it together. I don't see them doing that without them getting rid of Kathy Engelbert. And you know what? I did want to get into one more thing before we get out. One more thing. So Caitlin Clark has been named the June Eastern Conference Player of the Month. And this is why I said earlier they don't want to talk about your play. For the players to vote you the 11th best guard is is that's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. This girl has broken records in her first 2 seasons, not even playing a full complete 2 seasons, right? Because she was out last year. Um, she has broken records that the WNBA has never seen, like never seen. So she was named the June Easter Player of the Month. I don't want to read the whole thing, but let's go. Clark also made history on several occasions, including becoming the fastest player in WNBA history to record 250 plus points, 100 plus assists to start a season, doing so in just 13 games. Clark also extended her lead, leading consecutive games with 5 plus assists to 57, while also setting a new record for most consecutive games with 20 points and 5 assists with 6 games. All right, so let's on June 11th against the Chicago Sky, Clark recorded her third 30-point double double, the most in WNBA history. Just think about that. She hasn't played a full 2 complete seasons, and she has the most 30 points double double in the WNBA history. And on June 16th, Clark set a franchise record for the second most assists in a single game, recorded 14 assists in team's win over the Toronto Tempo. This is the second time in her career Clark has won Player of the Month and her first win of the season. Clark's first Player of the Month award came in August 2024 for the first and only rookie to earn said honor. Currently, Clark is one of the two fever players to ever win WNBA Player of the Month honors, joining Tamika Catchings, who did so 3 times in her career. So, Katie Clark, if you're wondering why they didn't want to talk about your play, it's because they voted you 11th best point guard in the league, and you out here setting WNBA records that has never been done in history. So we see what's going on. Caitlin Clark, shout out to you. We'll see. So like I said, I'm J Dub. I'm sorry, I'm Jay Williams. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.